Hi friends, I hope you're doing well. Happy Thursday. For those of you that are doing our September challenge groups, we are in the Fat Burn Blitz. We're day 4. It's going great. Those of you that aren't doing it, no biggie. If you want to know more about it, let me know. It's a 14-day hard fat burn that we're getting into. Anyway, I wanted to share with you, one of the ladies in this group, Cindy, actually told me about this book, and I immediately ordered it because I love Lisa TerKeurst, and it's called I'll Start Again Monday, Breaking the Cycle of Unhealthy Eating Habits with Lasting Spiritual Satisfaction. It is like quick read. I'm like savoring every little word, and so I'm not reading it quickly. I'm reading like 1 or 2 pages at a time and underlining. I'm like the worst. Actually, this isn't too bad. It's actually not too bad for me. When I actually read, which I don't do it very often, I end up highlighting more than I don't in a book. And so then it's like, what's the point of highlighting, really? Because I'm just like underlining the whole book. Anyway, so got this book. The segment that I read yesterday was so good, I just needed to share. She references the Bible story. I'll give you just a little just Cliff Notes story about this. So you've got twin brothers. This is in the Old Testament, so before Jesus, right? Jacob and Esau. Esau was born first, and in that culture and time, if you were born first, you got double the inheritance that any other child got after you. So that was kind of a big deal. So twins, Esau's born first, and then Jacob. So twins, I mean, even with just siblings, there's competition and rivalry and blah, blah, blah. And then you got twins. So that adds to that as well. Esau was a man's man, hunter, like out in the woods, exploring, killing stuff, all that good stuff. Jacob was more of a homebody, mama's boy. He liked to cook, liked to be alone, and, just do some other things. So they were very different, had different personalities. And so one time in particular, Esau is getting back from hunting, and Jacob is working on this stew, preparing this stew that I'm sure smelled really amazing, and Esau was starving, like famished. So Esau comes in the door, maybe the door, I don't know, and says, "Hey, Jacob, I need some stew. I am about to die. I'm so hungry." And Jacob takes that opportunity, being the wonderful sibling that he is, to say, well, if you want some stew, you first have to give me your birthright. You have to give up the double portion that you're going to get. You got to trade it with me, basically. Esau. I mean, the answer is no, right? Because it's like, okay, stew, double portion of inheritance. I feel like that anyway. He said, I feel like I'm probably going to die anyway. What good is this birthright to me if I'm dead? So, sure, you can have it. Trades it for stew. I have read that story a ton of times. I've heard that story. I've taught that story. I have never thought about it when it comes to food. Never. I always think about it like, making financial decisions and, sex before marriage and making decisions of like peer pressure and, Never thought about it when it comes to food, even though it involves food. But let's think about it when it comes to food now. Choosing that thing in that moment to bring yourself temporary satisfaction is exactly what Esau did. He traded the things that are far greater for his future for a temporary fix. How often do we do that? How often do we do that with food? Where, man, I'm hungry and I know the right choice is to get home and, mail's here. Eat my fueling or grab it in my glove box or, whatever, your purse. But man, that Chick-fil-A looks so good, or that Burger King or that Sonic or that whatever. And so we, instead of making the choices that will add to our future health, we make decisions to fix that craving that we have with something that does not benefit our future, because we're more concerned about the temporary and not the future. So it's just so crazy to think about. Like, that is the value of, like, in those moments, really being able to know your why, like really being able to hone in and say, like, I know that I want this, but is this really the best decision for me? No, it's not, because I really want to fill in the blank, that why, right? Or knowing your goal, because I really want to reach this milestone by the end of the month, or that kind of thing, Drinking water in those moments is really good too, because it, goes to our stomach, so it helps, but it also gives us a moment to clear our mind and really think about it. Could you imagine how Esau felt? Like, okay, ate the stew, knew he wasn't dying anymore, and his stomach was full. I bet he felt really crappy. And that's how we feel, right? After we eat the food, we feel really crappy, because not only was it junk, and so we feel physically crappy, but emotionally we feel so crappy, because it's like, dang it. That didn't line up. That didn't line up with where I'm going. But I made that sacrifice in the moment to fill that temptation, and that temporary craving. Anyway, I hope that helps, and I hope you have a great Thursday. Stay strong. Think about those long-term goals, that long-term why, and where you want to go.